Okay, so this is the first topic that we're going to cover in Algebra 2 that we've never covered before, and it is the concept of a complex number. And in short, it is, up until now, we have not been able to find the square root of a negative number. When we put it into the calculator, it becomes an error. It's nothing we've been able to calculate. So what we find out is the imaginary unit. The imaginary unit is I, and that equals the square root of -1. And by being able to simplify out the square root of -1 into an I, that allows us to continue factoring, continue multiplying, continue adding these numbers by eliminating the previously unknown square root of -1. So that's what we're going to deal with complex numbers. And a complex number has both a real and an imaginary part, and the imaginary unit is what is attached or combined with the variable I, or I, the symbol I. So here we go. When we are simplifying using I, as you can see here in A, we have the square root of -12. So we have learned that we can break down the square root of -12 into the square root of -1 times 12. And then we can further break that square root of 12 up into the square root of -1 times 4 times 3. And now that we have found the prime factors, we can go ahead and, not prime factors, the largest perfect square and prime factors, we can go ahead and simplify that radical. So we know that we just talked about the square root of -1 is I, and the square root of 4 is going to be 2, and the square root of 3, since we don't know that, we are going to leave that just as the square root of 3. So there you have it, a simplified radical, 2I times the square root of 3. Okay, and if we look at B, we have the square root of -25. Well, we know that that can be broken down into the square root of -1 times the square root of 25, and we know that the square root of -1 is going to be I, and the square root of 25 is going to be 5. So there you have it. The square root of -25 is going to be 5I. Let's see, so going on, graphing complex numbers on a number plane and then finding its absolute value. Okay, when we are dealing with the imaginary numbers, we are going to graph them not necessarily on a xy coordinate, but on an imaginary and a real coordinate. So again, the portion attached to the I is your imaginary, and the other value is going to be your A value, or your real value, where we have A plus BI. And A is your real, B is going to be your imaginary. So as I graph this, this first example, I have 5 minus I. So on my imaginary plane, or my imaginary axis, I go minus I, so that is -1I, and I am going to then go over 5 units on my real, so I end up going over 5 units down 1, so this is the location of 5 minus I, and that gives me that value that I was looking for, and then the distance is going to be an absolute value. So I know that I traveled 5 units here, I traveled 1 unit here, so that's why I have 5 squared plus 1 squared. So I'm looking at the square root of 5 squared plus 1 squared, or the square root of 26 is going to be the absolute value of this distance from there to there. All right, so going on to the next one, we have our A and B value. We have 3 units and 2 units. So as I graph that, I am going to go down 1, 2, 3. Oh, I do believe this is wrong. I am going to go left. Let's fix this real quick. Okay, I am going to go left 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down 2 units. So this is -3, -2i. So I have my 3 squared plus 2 squared equals the square root of then 13. And keep going here, and again, I have an a value, a b value, so the square root of a squared plus b squared is going to give me the square root of 17, and that's going to be the absolute value there on those imaginary and real axes there. Okay, so continuing on with 4-8 complex numbers, we're going to learn how to add and subtract. Very simple stuff. We combine like terms. We've been combining like terms for years in math. So as we look at this, I look at adding and subtracting. Looking at this first example, A, well, I have 7 minus 2i plus -3 plus I, so I am going to rewrite that for you here. As we can see, I have 7 minus 3 minus 2i plus I. I just reordered them for you to see it, make it a little bit easier. But I can combine 7 minus 3 is going to give me a 4, and -2i plus 1i is going to give me a -1i. So again, I am just combining like terms. I combine my real values together, and I combine my imaginary units together to come up with a complex number. And let's see here, this next example involves subtraction, and we remember when we have subtraction, we want to change our signs and, make it a positive so we can add it together, and then correspondingly change our signs to the right. We multiplied everything by -1. That's why we went from minus 3 minus 2i to plus a -3 plus 2i as we have distributed those values. Combining like terms, I have 1 minus 3, which gives me a -2, and I have 5i plus 2i, which gives me 7i. Multiplying comes a little bit differently. As we get into multiplying, we end up coming up with I squared, and I squared we're going to find out is -1, but again, multiplying the complex, I have I times I is going to give me I squared. 7 times 3 is going to give me 21, so I have 21 I squared, and that is going to simplify to 21, again, I squared equals -1. So 21 times -1 is going to give me a -21. Let's see here, the second value, we have to do the FOIL method. We're looking at two binomials, and we are going to have to make sure that we multiply 2 times the entire binomial and -3i times the entire binomial. And I've gone ahead and broken this up for you. As you can see, 2 times 4 plus 2 times 5i minus 3i times 4, and then minus 3i times 5i, and then simplify, so I end up getting 8 plus 10i minus 12i minus 15i squared. Again, substituting in -1 for I squared and doing the math, and I end up with 8 minus 2i plus 15, and combining further to 23 minus 2i. So again, multiplying it, just making sure that I remember that I times I is I squared, and I squared is equal to -1. When we start talking about dividing complex numbers, we have here I in the denominator, and I is not real. It is not a real value in a sense of it's the square root of -1. So like a decimal, like a radical, like a fraction, we need to get rid of all those partial things from the denominator. And I do that by multiplying by the conjugate. And the conjugate is if you don't remember, is going to be the same binomial, just with the opposite sign. So I have 3 plus 4i, and I'm going to multiply by the conjugate would be 3 minus 4i. So we have there, when we do this, we multiply by the value of 1, which is 3 minus 4i over 3 minus 4i. And I'm going to do some of my FOIL method here, multiplying, I'm foiling the top, I'm foiling the bottom to create this numerator and denominator. So I have 15 minus 6i minus 20i plus 8i squared over 9 minus 12i plus 12i minus 16i squared. And the point here, using your conjugate allows you to get rid of those two. They cancel out. Get rid of your I values. We know too that I squared ends up becoming -1, so doing some simplification, again -1, we have 15 minus 26i plus what would be 15 minus 26i minus 8 over 9 plus 6, so we end up 7 minus 26i over 25. There you go. Let's see. The easiest way on this next example was to, let's see, get rid of, what do I need to do to get rid of I? Well, I need to have I squared, so I simply multiplied my expression here in B by I over I, which is 1, so then I end up getting 4i minus I squared over 6i squared. And when I simplify and I substitute in my -1 for I squared, my problem disappears here. So I have 4i minus -1 over 6 minus 1, and then there you go. We're going to simplify that to 4i plus 1 over -6. And let's see here, moving forward. Okay, so as we factor these complex conjugates, remember we were coming up with these opposite signs, right? So we know here that a squared plus b squared will equal the binomial a plus bi times a minus bi. So we can use that to simplify some stuff here. Looking at a, we have 5x squared plus 20. So first thing I can always do is look for that greatest common factor, which happened to be a 5. So I pull that out, leaving behind x squared plus 4. Now, if you can't see it, we do know here that this should be 5 times x squared plus 2 squared, right? So now we have our a squared b squared, so we can go ahead and divvy it up here. So we have 5 times a plus bi, and then we have a minus a minus bi. So there you go. We have 5 times x plus 2i times x minus 2i. We can do the same thing over here in B. So we have here is my a squared, and of course 81 is going to be 9 squared, so we can break that up into our two binomials of x plus 9i and x minus 9i. And that is factoring using complex conjugates. Very similar to the difference of squares, okay, that we have covered several units ago. Let's see here, factoring using imaginary solutions. Okay, now here is where we had before that we were never able to factor a negative number. So we're able to do that now. I'm sorry, factor a negative number. What I meant was find the square root of a negative number, and we're going to use the quadratic formula, which is right over here, in case you have forgotten. and we're going to substitute in the values of a, b, and c. We know that in order to do that, we have standard form. We pull out our a, b, and c in case you've forgotten. We have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, and you're able to pull out those values. Substituting in my quadratic formula, I get x equals negative minus 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 1 squared minus 4 times 3 times 2 over 2 times 3. Okay, so as we go from here, we simplify using our order of operations. We get negative times a negative gives me a positive 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 minus 24 over 6. Keep simplifying, right? 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 23 over 6. And then we know, remember this, the square root of negative 23 is equal to the square root of negative 1 times 23. So we know the square root of negative 1 is going to give me an I, leaving behind the square root of 23. So we have x equals 1 plus I times the square root of 23 over 6, or x is 1 minus I times the square root of 23 over 6. So those are your two answers. And that is complex numbers in a nutshell. And there is the problem for B. You can go ahead and look at it in the same sense of what we just did and check your answers, because there is what you should come up with.